Right, so now I'm going to do my shallots. I always do Golden Gourmet. I always find they produce quite a lot of onions for pickling. So I'm just going to open the bag. They're actually starting to sprout already in the bag. So there, and I'll pop them in a box. So I then know roughly how many I've got and how many rows to do of each one. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, I've got 10 in that one. And that one's gone. Oh, they've started going. Oh, so's that. Oh, they're not very good, are they? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there's probably 10 in each, but I've lost 3 already. $18, $19, $20, $21, $22, $23, $24, $25, $26, $27. So that could be, how far have they got to be planted apart? 5 inches apart. So I've got 27. So 27, that won't work out evenly. So if I've got 27, 5 inches apart, 1, 2, 6, 12, 18, 24. I could do 24 or 7, 1, 2, no, because I think 7's going to be too close. 1, 2, 3. I think I'll get 6 in a row. So that means one row is going to be just a few spare, so I can just pop them along. So right, so with these, as you can see where some of them are starting to sprout, that goes up to the top. And then that's where the roots form at the bottom. So basically all you do is make a hole, and because this soil's quite soft, I don't need to use a spade or a drill, and just pop it in like that. So if I do 6 along, 5 inches apart, that's roughly 5 inches, and just pop it in like so. Right. Oh, it's got each. So it's just as simple as that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 in that row. And then 1, 2. They don't need to go down too far, but you also don't want them to be sticking up too far, because the birds do like to have a munch now and again. That's that. Out of 3 packs of 10, so that's 30, I've actually lost 5 where they've gone mouldy, and I've not had them that long. So yeah, so I'm only going to have, what, 6, 12, 18, oh, I'll count them afterwards. Okay, so all the onions are in. And I've planted 6, 12, 18, 25. As I've lost 5, so that's 25 shallots. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing that 5 of them have gone soggy. They're not going to grow at all. Not very good. But, oh well. So, I've got that. They're in. Okay, so I buy this onion, garlic and shallot feed. So that saves another job of having to feed them during the season. So I just get a few in my hand and just literally scatter it over. Right, don't need much, so that's that. Give it a slight watering. Right. And then just rake the soil over. But you've got to be very careful not to disturb the shallot. So I'm just gently raking the soil over just to cover them. If you do catch one, then you just put it back in again. As I have done in the past. Caught one and then it's like, oh, bugger. So I just cover it back over. And you'll soon start seeing them sprouting. Right, so they're all covered over nicely. Right, so I'll leave them. And that's it. Don't really have much to do with them now, apart from just letting them grow. The last part is just putting the label in. So I'll put it this side because I know where my last row was, so I don't start putting any onions next to it too close. So that's them done. So these are my red onions, which I'll be putting in next. Basically the same principle, make a hole, put them in, feed them, cover them over and let them just start growing. I always do red barren for the red onions because I've always had a good crop of those. It says on here there's 50, but I'll still put them in my pot to count them out properly so I know how many rows to do. And if any of them have gone off like the shallots. So I'll just count them into my bag, into my box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The onions are now in. The shallots, brown onions, and red onions. Red onions, red barren, brown onions, Stuttgarter. The shallots, golden gourmet. As you can see, when I've done these shallots, just made a hole, fed them with some onion and garlic feed, and then watered them, and then raked over, and then that's it. Just leave them to grow now. I have left a bit of a space in between the red and the brown, these brown onions, and there because I am growing some seeds at home of both. Just depends on whether they actually grow or not. If not, then I've got enough space to plant some more if they don't grow within a sort of a month, at least I've got time to grow, sow some more set ones if I can get any at that point in moment in time. So this is my label, which I'm just going to stick there, so that tells me where I've started sowing my brown onion. And as you can see, I've raked to here, which I might just get another little stake just to say that that's where they are finished. Then I've got all of this space here to sow some more if need be. So another drink. Next job is just to sow a row of carrots, a row of parsnips, and plant some beetroot seeds. So I'll show you that in a minute. Just got a couple of more jobs to do. Sow my carrots. I'm only going to do one row because I like to sow them in succession so they're not all growing at the same time. Beetroots, I'm just going to put a couple of seeds in each hole, so if one doesn't germinate. And then my parsnips. The reason why I put the beetroots in between the parsnips and the carrots is because carrots and parsnips, I read somewhere a few years ago that they're not very good at companion cropping and don't really like each other. Maybe because it's a root crop, I don't really know. But I've always put my beetroots in between. So I do my carrots, beetroots, and then parsnips, and I've not had any problems with that. So I've got this little gadget. My son actually made it for me. He welded a bit of metal onto this pole so that I can just do a thin little trench. So all I'm going to do is just pull it along. So it's not back breaking. It doesn't need to be too deep. So I'm just going to do that, and if there's any stones they'll come out because this is for the carrots. It has been rotivated, so it should be quite nice soil underneath. Right, so that's that. Right, so that didn't take long. Then I do use seed tape, so the seeds are evenly spaced out. These are called Amsterdam Forcing 3, and it literally just comes on a reel of tape, and then all you do is unravel it. And I don't know if you can see the seeds on there. They're all evenly spaced out. Obviously some aren't going to grow. That's probably why they put quite a few sort of together. And then all I do is unravel it, and then one end I put a metal spike just into the end, like that, just so it holds it firm, and then lay it flat in the trench, because if it's a windy day it's just going to fly everywhere. So that just helps hold it at the end. You get 2 of these in a pack. Oops. Sometimes the wind does take it, and sometimes the old man don't hold it. Alright, let's put that back in. Alright, lay it down. Alright, let me just stop and put some over just to hold it down a bit. Alright. I need some scissors because this is a bit longer than the size of the bed. So I'm just going to cut it to there. Alright. And then literally all you do is cover it back over with the soil. So it's all nice and smooth. Should have put my gloves back on, but I forgot. I'll water them after I've put the beetroots and the parsnips in, so I'll water it all together. So I can now take that out because they're all dug in. Right, and then just get the label with carrot, the name of it, which is Amsterdam Forcing, and then the date on the back, which today is the 17th of the 3rd, 26. And then just pop that at the end of the row, so you know where the row starts and finishes, which I probably will put one that end as well, but I can do that when I'm finished, because I need to do one for my onions as well. Right, so that's that. Next I'm just going to go and sow a couple of beetroots. Just going to rake it a little bit. It's a little bit bumpy. Right, so I'm only going to sow a few. So I'm just going to rake this little bit here. And then I can sow some more in about 3 weeks' time. So that, again, they're not all growing at the same time. So, right, I'll probably do 4 rows of carrots and 2 rows of parsnips. So then my beetroots are probably going to start here. So I'll have a look to see how far they need to be planted. And then, so what does it say? Let's put that away. Alright, here it says sow outdoors March. It says sow 12 inches apart, but I just do a hole and just put 2 seeds in each. Otherwise you end up thinning loads of things out. So I just need to make a tiny little hole, but what have I done with that? Alright, so 4 inches apart roughly, because they're saying that they say sow in rows, but then you've got to thin them out. So I just like to do a little hole and sow two seeds per station. So 4 inches apart. So if I do that there, that one there. So I'm going to put 2 seeds in each of these holes. Right, so I'm just going to do 12 for now. And then 3 weeks' time I'll do another 12. And then until this whole bed, this bit here, is finished. So the seeds are quite tiny, so you've got to be very sort of careful with them. Right, so there's 2 in that one. 2 in that one. 2 in that one. And just hopefully that one of them will take. 2 in that one. 2 in that one. Fiddly. one. Two in that one. Two in that one. Two in that one. Two in that one. And two in that one. Right, so. Oops, dropped them. Right, so I've put in two in each hole. So I need to mark where I've put my last ones. But I haven't got anything else here with me to put it in there, so I'm just going to stick that in there. That then tells me where my last one's finished, and then I can carry on with some more. And then you literally just cover them over. Stone. And then write the label. These are called Boltardi. I grow these ones all the time. I find they produce real nice size beetroots. So we'll see what happens with those. So got my label. This is from last year. I just need to change the date. So it's the 17th of 3rd, 26. Right. And that was how many? 2, 4, 6, 8. 4, 8, 12. That's 24. 24 beetroots. Right, so I'll stick that there. I will get some more bits. So I've got a bit here I can put where it starts and where it finishes. But I'll get taller ones in a minute so I know where they are. Right, and then the last bit is my parsnips. And I'm going to do the same as what I did with the carrots. This is on seed tape as well. So you basically just do the same with the carrot. These are called white gem, which I tend to grow quite a bit. I didn't have these last year. I had tender and true, and yeah, I had a good crop, but they weren't as nice as the white gem. So that's three rows there, but I'm not going to need 3 rows. Not yet, anyway. Right, so as you can see, these are spaced more evenly because they're a bigger seed. So I will do the trench like I did with the other one, and they're going next to the beetroots, so that's going here. So there's the trench. It doesn't need to be too deep like the carrots. And these again I'm going to grow in succession so that they're not all being harvested at once. You can, because I do freeze them, but sometimes you don't have enough room in the freezer, so right, I think that'll do that. Right, let's get my scissors. Right, let's get my metal bit, pop that in there. Alright, let's pop that there, unravel it. Oh, that's just a nice size actually, look. That's perfect. Actually, I might just move it down a tad because that is right at the end. So I'm going to stick it there. Let me just cover that over. Right. So that's that laid out. So literally just cover it over like the carrots. I probably can rake it now. Yeah, so just literally cover it over. And the last bit is just to give them a water. Right. There we go. Quick and easy, and there's no thinning needed with them either. So I'm just going to go and grab some more white labels just to put in the ends. So back in a minute. These are parsnips called White Gem. So I've only done one row, so I like to grow them in succession. Date on the back, 17th of the 3rd, 26. Right, pop my label in at the end of the row. I can still see a little bit of the tape there, so that's got to go there. And I can still get another 2 rows in there. So I've got parsnips, a few beetroots, which I've now got more space here to grow some more in a couple of weeks' time, and carrots, which I've got probably hopefully in space for another 3 rows. So I'll sow another row in a couple of weeks, sow some more beetroots in a couple of weeks, and sow another row of parsnips in a couple of weeks. So as I say, I've got my white bits labels just to pop in where I know that I've sown my beetroots. So I don't want to end up sowing them in the same spot. Obviously once they're all full up, I'll be moving them ones. But all I need to do now is just water them. So let me get my watering can. Just watering. Don't need a lot because the soil's quite wet still underneath. We've had a lot of rain. But I'm just going to give them a hand to get them established. Okay, so that's all those bits done. Just got a few little bits to do, tidy up, put my stuff away and have a drink. Right, let's pop this back. So in here I have a bag of potatoes from last year's potatoes that have chitted in my cupboard. So I'm literally just going to pop some in that compost bin, and some in here and see what happens. I'm not expecting a lot, but we'll see. Last year I did this with shop bought ones, and I actually got quite a few potatoes, but I think this is a bit of a mixture, to be honest, of shop and last year's. They've sort of all stuck together though. So let me just spread them out. They might take, they might not. They might need soil dug over them, I don't know. Just leave them like that, see what happens. That's literally all I did last year, and just spread them out. Not expecting to get any potatoes, but you never know. Let's see what happens with them. Right, at least they're out of my porch. Right, so that's all the jobs now for today. It's been a very productive day. Obviously I've still got other things to start sowing at home, like tomatoes and cucumbers and sweet corns, peas, but then sometimes I put the peas straight in, but I need to make my frames back up. And the runner beans not till May, June time. Pumpkins, squashes, courgettes, yeah, and then obviously my brassicas, which will be going in my brassica cage, but I need to start sowing them at home. But now I've got rid of my potatoes, I've got more room, and now it's getting warmer, I can probably sow some and put them in my greenhouse. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been a long video, but I think I'm going to do it in 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. So hope you've enjoyed watching, and catch up again soon.